Hey, everybody. Welcome to Locked On Lakers on YouTube. Brian Kamenetsky and Andy Kamenetsky. Andy, we opened up the mailbag ahead of Game 2, and pretty much all of it was about Kyle Kuzma. A lot of responses to at Cam Brothers on Twitter that were kind of like this one from Aniket Mohan. Should Kuz start looking for his own shot? He was being too selfless nowadays. He took 2 shots in Game 1, 82, which even for selfless Kuzma is not many. And this from Luke Lebsack. Will Kuz get a shot in the closing or starting lineup even? A lot of questions kind of like this. What do you expect from Kuz in Game 2? Because both of us talked him up before Game 1 as a guy could be really impactful this playoffs.
Well, I think he's definitely going to take more than 2 shots over the course of 19 minutes, 24 seconds. I like Kuzma. That has to be a personal record for the amount of time he's ever gone without taking shots, like in his lifetime. Like probably as really I imagine like as like a 4-year-old learning how to play the game and could barely lift the basketball, he still put up more than 2 shots in 19 minutes and 24 seconds. Like that feels physically impossible for Kuzma, like something that would be body repellent for him or something like that. So I think that's going to change. I think it'll be interesting in general, and this affects Kuzma, but I think a lot of other guys, just how they look to try to defend Devin Booker in this game. Like, I'm very curious to see how much of a kitchen sink look that they give to Booker in this. I'm also very curious to see how much they test Chris Paul and where he's at physically in order to gauge what to do with Devin Booker. Because if it looks like Chris Paul isn't quite himself, at that point, I am swarming Devin Booker constantly. With guys like Kuzma, Wes Matthews, KCP.
Defensively has allowed him to participate in those kinds of things in ways that you wouldn't have expected before. And obviously a lot of this is tied as well to how much does Frank Vogel go to Anthony Davis at the 5? How much of the game is devoted to whatever combination of Harrell, Gasol, and Drummond. If that number goes down, then I think Kuzma's numbers go up. And I picture everybody on the Lakers in Game 2 being far more aggressive than they were in Game 1. And like you say, the idea that Kuzma's going to go through Game 2 without a point, as he did in Game 1, I don't think they need him to score in the same way that they did last year. They need him to be like the Kuz that he was during the season, hit timely shots, rebound, play defense, fill a lot of holes. But they do need him to take more than 2 shots, and I absolutely think he will.
And as far as the idea of, is it possible that he could get a shot in the starting and closing lineup? Starting's not going to happen. I would be stunned and kind of confused if he ended up starting Game 2. I don't really see the reason for that.
Get it. Yeah.
He could potentially end up closing because he's versatile enough to, like you said, to be a part of a lot of different matchups against Phoenix. He's become fairly reliable. He's somebody that I think there are people ahead of him in that pecking order, and sometimes it has to do with just floor combinations. Mm-hmm. But I do think Vogel trusts Kuzma. It's not an idea that he won't put him on the floor because he just thinks those high leverage moments aren't for Kuz. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just, does he work with this combination for the Lakers and also for Phoenix or not? Right. But I don't think it's impossible.
You're talking at that point, you're probably talking about a lineup that's Caruso, KCP, Kuzma, LeBron, AD.
Yeah.
That is not crazy for the end of Game 2. We'll see how it goes. Be sure to check back to Locked On Lakers on YouTube for all kinds of web-only content. And, of course, the podcast every day in your podcast inbox. We'll see you next time.